From the Ugly Parrot Studios in Newcastle, California, the Luma Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. I was a little bit off. I think it's the weather that threw me off a little bit. Scott Robinson with you for another episode of Beyond the Humidor, episode 109, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Something like that.
Right on. From the Gorilla enclosure, we got the Gorilla. Gorilla, how you doing, my friend?
Sup? I'm good. We're
Right
here.
on.
It's Wednesday. Hopefully we aren't going to lose power and get blown away, but you know.
Yeah, weather's terrible today, man.
Yeah, it is. I'm still saying, every time we do this show and Gorilla does his introduction, we got to get Gorilla merch. That's our mission, is Gorilla merch.
Gorilla cam.
Yep.
Gorilla pay raise. Lots of promises being made. Not a lot of words. Not a lot of action.
Well, as far as the pay, you got to talk to your union representative.
Yeah. Let me get your union steward on the phone. Oh, he's on the phone now. What's that? Tell the gorilla to fuck off. All right. No pay raise.
How you doing, Larry?
Fabulous now. Every time somebody brings up pay raise, that's just, how's the gorilla doing? The gorilla needs more money. Why don't you go fuck yourself? All right. There we go.
And then, to my left, I can't even tell it's Greg anymore. He's growing this fur. It's like one of his other nuts dropped or something. How you doing?
Good. A little red hat. He'd look like Bucky.
Wow. Nah, thanks not. Doing great. You know, we talked to our guest in the past, and dude, this is one of my favorite people on the planet. So please, Mr. Robinson, let's not waste any more time. Do your intro, please.
Without a doubt. Now, the last time we had this guest on, fucko over here, arrow pointing at me, we had this guest on that we have been just dying to have, and we have him on the StreamYard, and we're running the show. About an hour and 15 minutes in, I come to the realization that I did not hit the video record button. So if you're looking on YouTube, it's just a black, or if you want to call it, a Scott space with nothing on it. What? It's okay to laugh. I made a joke. It's a black joke. You can laugh. It's okay. I won't get upset.
Wasn't you we were worried about.
We were appropriately lambasted by his audience also.
Oh, yes,
Indeed, we were. But I took full responsibility for it. I was not a victim. I took full responsibility. But this time we remedied the situation, and I didn't have Greg. Greg proactively hit the record
Greg
button.
on the head and said, "Hey, turn that on, boy." Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir, Colonel.
Still shaking that bush, balls. Still shaking that bush.
It's Master Colonel to you, sir.
Oh, God.
Anyway, before I get into more trouble.
Does anybody look see if the general's still there? He's like, nah, screw it, I'm out. All
right, without further ado, from the Gen X Talks podcast that you can catch on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, he does the Bottom of the Glass show. He does a show with his wife, which is amazing. My wife is even a fan. Let me introduce the General from Gen X Talks. How you doing, my brother?
Hang on one second. Just finishing up Wordle. Yeah, I got that. Okay, yeah. What's going on now? Hey, guys.
Well, I thought he was ordering DoorDash, so.
All right, so you just asking here, you guys are recording this time, right?
Yes, boss.
Yeah, the red light is on. I'm seeing recording. We're good.
The light is green. The trap is clean. Here we go. My goodness. Good Lord. All right, so boys, what are we talking about? What's going on today?
No, man, we're happy to have you back. We got to get this on a regular event, man. We went too long. I know Scott's been down there and hung out with you, and we all talking about getting down and hanging out. We need to talk about your Vegas deal, because next year I would like to plan to be able
Well,
to
yeah,
do that.
as would I.
That just
It was a fun event. It really was. Well, we were out there for 4 days. We kind of planned a few things if fans got there early, if someone wanted to hang out. So there was different events, but the two big ones that transpired that is now a regular thing with this is one, of course, the meet and greet, the VIP meet and greet. It's, a little area. We just don't let everybody walk in and out. That turned out really well, but also go-kart racing. They have these really fast go-kart tracks, and we've had the same guy has won 2 years in a row now. So everybody's gunning for him next year. That seems to be something that everybody likes to participate in. So when you get a bunch of drunk old people with race cars, it turns out to be fun.
I got a fucking idea.
Hey,
hold on. I got an idea now.
Uh-oh.
Go-karts, you can get the decals. We'll take them down there. We put Beyond the Humidor on the side of the go-kart.
Yeah, but if we suck, we don't want people to see that. Is there a size limit on this?
There should be a weight limit, probably.
I'm bigger than any two of you put together, and I didn't get to ride in one because I had to go pick up Iceman from the airport, so I missed the beginning, but they could have fit me in one, so I'm sure they could fit you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Well, we'll just sponsor Pat or Chris. They're a little lighter than us.
We ain't sponsoring Chris. That son of a bitch. I wouldn't let him drive nothing.
So what's going on with Greg, man? He looks like a big inflated Bill Burr with a beard.
Decided it was time for a change.
I'm liking it, man. That's kind of cool.
Thank you. So not for a depressing story. So I lost Dad in July of last year, and decided in December, I'm like, I think it's time for a different. I've been clean shaven my entire life because I can't stand it. And I said, fuck it, let's give it a try. And, they both said, just wait, be patient, get through the stage. And so it is.
Yeah. Even if it gets patchy and blotchy, man, just keep going. Fuck everybody else. Who cares, man?
Exactly. That's kind of the way I look at it.
He started at the right time of year, too. So, because, man, if you start in late spring, early summer,
oh, yeah,
it itches so fucking bad you can't stand it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So the Las Vegas event was really cool. Like I was telling you, we did an intro with everybody. First time we'd done this, I grabbed a microphone, turned up the lights, turned them on, back on, and turned down the music and walked around and met everybody. And, we had staff. Everybody knows all the staff members. They knew our family, of course. And then there's some locals to the program. Iceman. Everybody knows Iceman because we have a catchphrase we use with him. Dr. McDreamy was another one. Everybody knows Dr. McDreamy. There's a big, long story there with him. Goes back years. And then when I'm done, I just kind of said, okay, I was, a long time being on the mic and talking because a lot of people there. I finally said, did we miss anybody? And sure enough, somebody said, where's Cigar Scotty? So they knew you from the interview. And there's a lot of people that commented, and I got a lot of messages and a lot of emails on that. They dug that interview.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
That's cool, man.
And we went off topic. We were nowhere near Gen X Talk stuff. We were nowhere near cigars.
Oh, God.
We just went sideways. And when we were done, I said, well, we fucked that whole thing up. And everybody who's heard it goes, no, you got to print that. Put that out. So we did.
Yeah, we could have went like another hour and a half, to be perfectly honest.
Well, you and I did. We got drunk in that when we were having lunch that day. We went 3 hours.
Well, you realize...
We easily could have done that here.
You realize you're fucking family because your lovely wife served tacos afterwards, and I love tacos, so... You serve tacos, you're family.
Yeah, you're in. Yeah, my wife would have let us she would have just kept pouring drinks and serving food as long as we went. That's for sure.
Ooh, that's a dangerous combination right there.
She's a good wife, man. It took me a long time to get her to this point, but she's got it down now, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's obviously not in the room.
Oh, no, not at all. Right now, I can talk about how long it took to train that specific individual. I had to chip away all the rough edges, get like a sculptor. I chipped away the rough edges until I got right where I wanted her. So we're good now, but boy, what a long haul that's been. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that translates into I wore her down.
She finally gave up and submitted and just gave me what I wanted. I wore her down. She finally quit.
See, I have a theory, man, that women are looking for men like we would look for houses and cars. They want a fixer-upper. 31 years I've been trying to convince my wife I'm a teardown. She don't believe me.
Yeah, well, if you'd have told her you were a frame off, she might have chose differently. You had to go all the way down to the frame. She might have said, "Well, hang on now, hold on."
Yeah.
Now, my wife's she's made me a better person my whole life, and I wouldn't be anywhere of anything I've ever done without her. And that's the goddamn truth. So I tell you, when they tell you, and my grandfather told me that, just be careful what woman you pick, because what she's willing to do or not do is what makes or breaks you. And her being willing to stand up to me and keep me on the straight and narrow more than once is the only reason I'm still breathing today. I can attest to that. She's a good woman.
Right on.
Amen.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now sentimental part's over.
Yeah. Now let's get back to talking more shit. I'm almost
Here's
3
something for
beers
you.
in.
Talk about this. I got this when I was in Vegas.
Okay, I have questions. I'm just a curious sort, So I'm inquisitive.
All right.
So you actually, okay, obviously it's not open. I hope it didn't come in a 6-pack and you drank the other 5. But
Was it made by Budweiser?
Let me look. I don't believe it is. No, I'm confident they didn't pick up this line. No.
Well, there goes our Anheuser-Busch sponsorship.
no shit. Let's see, how many people have we pissed off over the last 10 episodes?
I don't know.
Everybody.
How many people have we talked about?
Let's see. We picked on the UK. Now we picked on Budweiser.
Oh, yeah, but the UK's easy. I mean, look at them inbred bastards.
Well, Budweiser shifted. Bud Light shifted they restructured their marketing teams completely, and now you see all the commercials out. They're back to football. They're back to wrestling. They're back to car races. America's a pretty forgiving country. This will blow over at some point.
Sure.
Their sales may never be 100%, but they'll go back to the way they were. But boy, I'll tell you what, lesson learned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, talk about a giant kick in the nards. That gets your attention. How'd that feel? Sucked, didn't it? Let's not do that again.
Well, and a lot of them did that. You had Target that did the same thing when they put their Pride stuff out there, and then they got hit too. It's just they got to figure out, the American people can only put up with so much of an inconvenience. Then they finally stand up and go, okay, we're done. And by that time, it's too late. You can't fix it. Now you just got to suffer what you're going to go through, because the pendulum is now swinging back the other way. And Netflix is tried to shut Chappelle down, and it didn't work.
Right.
The woke movement tried to shut down Joe Rogan on Spotify. The woke movement didn't succeed there. And it's happening all over. And even Disney now looked at 2023, and they looked at how poorly all their movies did.
Yeah.
And now Hollywood already shifted. The scuttlebutt all around Hollywood last year was, look, I ain't going to go on record, but I want you to hire the best director, the best actor, the best actress, the best sound guy. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I don't care what race they are. You just get the best person. They very quietly last year said, all the projects going forward, we're done with this. Just get us back in the groove. Now Disney's late to the party, but they're seem to go the same way. The next year's productions, when you put your ear to the ground, some people in Disney are going, we just got to go back to what we were doing and just very quietly do it. Don't make a statement. We made a statement and we stated it this way. It didn't work. They're going back the other way. Things are changing. They may not change overnight, but the pendulum is definitely swinging back the other way.
Which is a very, very good thing. It's like, just get back to making good movies.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
even mediocre would be okay.
Well, yeah.
Let's, don't swing for the fence on the first one. Let's just hit one out of the infield, shall we?
Well, you think about it, even the cult classics, think of like a horribly bad movie that, years later, it's like people still watch it and talk about it.
Yeah, they do. You get a cult following to a good movie that just takes time to get traction. Unfortunately, none of those are going to qualify.
Exactly.
None of them.
Ever. Yeah, that's. I don't know. It's been an interesting last few years, that's for sure. So
yeah, I want the elections to be over with. I want them to hurry up and make changes. That's what I want.
Yeah. It's scary times we live in. So Scotty was telling us that new big project in the works for you guys.
Yeah, there's a few actually. We got a few irons in the fire. Which lie was he telling you?
radio program, radio station?
Yeah, that's well, we're already Gen X Talks, and we simplified that with GXT, Gen X Talks. So we, my wife went out last year and she secured KGXT, just like on the West Coast, KGXT radio. So we've actually started an online radio. We're just getting it going. We're trying to populate it with thousands of songs that I personally am trying to pick, although I fight with my idiot son about this. And the idea of the radio station, KGXT Radio, is imagine if you turn on the radio station and it just had 10,000 songs from, let's say, 1975 to 1992, and just stuff I would pick. All right, you may not like all of them, but you'd like a lot of them. But sprinkled in between is a live stream here and there where you can listen, a podcast like the audio podcast that Scotty was talking about that him and his wife listen to. That's edited. We record it and then we edit out some of the stuff like, hey, we probably shouldn't say that, or probably leave that alone. Or sometimes she gets a little personal or I get a little personal, and we have to leave stuff out that we banter back and forth, and the radio station, we're not going to, because you can't rewind it.
Right.
If you miss what's going on, you've missed it. This is a real radio station. There's no, well, I'll listen to it later. No, you won't. The live version is going to have stuff because we're not beholden to YouTube or to Facebook. There's nobody over us. It's our radio station. So we could say literally whatever you want. You can't cancel us at that point. So the idea is to, not that I want to just go out there and scream things that are so offensive and just for the sake of doing it. I just don't want to have to watch every color, everything I say, and tint it so it fits into, what YouTube would say or what Spotify wants you to say, or Apple. The idea is that when you click on the radio station, and we're getting apps, we've almost got them done. There's just be an app for Android, an app for Apple, but you click on the app, there's just two things to look at. You can look at the calendar of what's coming up, and you can click over here and you're listening live. That's it. And so when we do the podcast that we like to record tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to record it, but we're also going to broadcast it live. So anybody who wants to listen in and hear all the shit that you shouldn't hear us say, they get to hear it live. So, we do that. And so now there's more programs that we're doing that too. What I had talked to Scotty about too, is I was going to make it available. What I was thinking was that if friends of mine that had really good podcast episodes that they really liked, to promote them, Scotty could say, hey man, here's an hour, here's one of our best episodes, or an hour and a half or whatever. And he could send me that file. I can upload it and schedule it to go on there and then put on the calendar. Here's the Cigar Cartel. Here's the boys Beyond the Humidor, and people could go listen to your deal one time on the radio.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
If there was there's other people, other influencers that would like to have that shot at doing something, and so we'll record it, send it to me, and I'll pop it in there, and we'll put it up and let people listen to it. And at the end of the month, we'll start getting statistics, and of course, nobody's listening to it yet. Although what was funny was I didn't even announce that we were recording last week. I had 21 people find it and listen to it, and I haven't even told anybody how to turn it on yet. Anybody had to listen, and they still found it, and they still started listening. And so it's a unique idea that I would like to populate that with different things, and I don't want to fill it, man. I still want it to be music, but if we had some really cool things sprinkled in throughout the day, I think it would be cool to have. So in addition to that, I'd like to be able to, if the people join our Patreon, it's $1, Gen X Talks Patreon. I can also send an email through Patreon. It goes out to everybody. I don't have a way to do that on YouTube. I don't have a way to do that on Facebook. But if I send a message, just a quick email says, hey, I'm going on live in half an hour, I can sit and grab the microphone and flip the switch at 6:30 in the morning, and I can just talk for an hour. I can read the news and comment on it. You can go to the weather and say, hey, it's raining in Seattle. Boston's got some snow. You can just read off some of the highlights to everybody, just no matter where they are. You can kind of pick it apart, and then you can comment on what the news is going on too. And people seem to like that. They like just hearing me on the fly talk about shit. A screen thing comes up, says Nancy Pelosi. Never mind. I'll read what fucking she says. I'm sorry. I don't have my Lucky Charms lying decoder ring on right now, so I can't translate for you. And there's no comments. There's no interaction. You just read. You just what's
do
on the
you.
news and comment.
Yeah, that sounds fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I love it. Free
Scott,
radio.
When you were here, we had that little silver pod track deck with the microphones cord going into it right to my right.
Yes.
And I bought a little adapter on that now, and we've tested it out. It works perfectly. I can take phone calls. So my son wants me, he goes, go on at midnight, man. Talk about UFOs. Be the next Art Bell.
Okay. Your son's my man, Art Bell, because everybody talks about Lori, but I'm an old school Art Bell fan. When I used to work nights, it's like 12 o'clock. I want to hear about the black UN helicopters. The one guy's theory that, those little markings on the back of signposts, that's for the UN to know where their troop positions are.
Jesus Christ.
Did you hear what they're doing over at DARPA?
Well, remember, I was telling you on one of the previous shows we did about one of the new shows that's out on the History Channel, and one of their experts is George Norrie, who does something very similar to Art Bell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I just got to ask this. Am I the only guy that worked graveyard that listened to Loveline?
Probably.
Oh.
I mean...
Well, Loveline was like a generic kind of thing they've done on radio programs because...
No, with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Oh, that Loveline. I thought you were talking about like 94, what is it, 94.3
He's talking about love songs on the coast where they get on there and read love letters to each other.
Oh,
no.
Yeah,
man.
I was talking about this one cat. I think I mentioned it on the interview. There was this one cat by the name of Theo on the one of the Southern California stations in the 90s. And this cat would be like, yeah, this is Theo with you on 92.3 The Beat. We're talking about the love line right now. We got Candace on the phone, and she wants to give a dedication. I want to read a letter to you real quick.
That's right.
Here you go. Let me read this right quick.
Did, yeah. And he'd read a letter. He'd say, all right, Candace, we just read that. We hope that guy calls you. We hope Steven calls you tonight. And here's a song for Steven from Candace. And he'd read the letter. He's right. That's how it happened.
Yeah, but my favorite one with Theo in particular, two things. One time he's reading something, and it was like a real sad, because every now and then you get the desperate cry for help letter. And he's like, I'm going to read this letter right now from Marie out in Santa Paula, California. Here we go. Yeah, dear Theo, you're speaking at the end of the night or whatever, and I'm going through something real hard right now, and oh man, this is bad. Baby girl, it's okay. I want to reach out to you. Now, I got to meet this cat. I go over to the standard ladies' night club kind of thing Thursday, and Theo's there. What is he? He's like a 5'6" Asian dude.
No.
Yes.
No, don't say that.
Yes.
Oh, ruined it.
It was like, wait a minute. That voice comes out of your mouth? That is not what I expected.
Wow. Yeah.
That's like hearing Scotty and seeing the gorilla.
Wow.
Just saying.
Damn you, Daddy.
Well, that's not what we're gonna do on this radio station.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Apologies.
Just checking.
No, but there's a lot of good ideas that come to mind from over the years. I wish I could stay up 24 hours and do it. You can't humanly do that, but you can combine so many good things from that you've seen growing up. All the good, like the Art Bells of George Norrie.
Yes.
You can even do an hour of Led Zeppelin and just talk about what your favorite Led Zeppelin songs were and why. And if you went to a concert, that's the stuff they're interested in, personal little insights, but you can't, there's no way I could do it. I couldn't be on the air that long. However, if you get some guys that can sit in studio and do that, they could have a whole show. You could do one for an hour or two and set them up in the studio and let them go and, let them do their thing. And when you're done, you click off the button and it's right back to music.
What you should do is put your kid on for a half an hour and trying to explain who he thinks Led Zeppelin is.
Well, he just started a deal on Monday nights now called the Kids Corner. And what he does is he goes for an hour or so, maybe 45 minutes, and he goes on a live stream and he makes fun of Generation X. He'll like pull up things and he goes, you guys had a band called Fine Young Cannibals and you thought that was okay. You got a song here called I Eat Cannibals. You thought that was okay. And how much did your parents invest in Aquanet, women? Because your hair must have been bulletproof. And guys, why did you think that was sexy? Because you can't run your fingers through hairnet. Don't tell me you could. You couldn't do it. So he picks all these things and spends 45 minutes making fun of our generation. And he's actually building a little bit of an audience because people come on there to defend their positions on Generation X and tell them why. And that's the whole point. You're getting people riled up, you know.
That's awesome.
I
We're
like
have to
it.
check that out.
For sure, man.
It's odd little stuff. Some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. In Gen X Talks, we've got rid of more stuff than we've kept. We've tried a bunch of stuff that failed and didn't work. So, you know, that's out.
Yeah, you know, that's part of the process though with everything in life.
Exactly.
Well, I should have known putting me in a big fat apron with a chef's hat wasn't going to fly.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We did Gen X Cooks.
We did 2 episodes where we lit the kitchen. Scotty, the kitchen you were in, we had lights and 6 different camera angles and 3 microphones. And then my wife ran the stream deck because she can click cameras. And then there was a small camera on her always in the corner. And she was laughing at what we're doing. Of course, he's telling me how to cook. And I'm like, okay, you don't really need to measure everything. You just know what's going on. I'm taking the butter, breaking it in half and throwing it in there. And everything, you know, we're arguing over what TSP is, that tablespoon or teaspoon. And, you know, we just, for an hour and a half, we did that. But it got huge ratings when we did it. I said, we're not ever doing that again. Because I looked at the footage, man. You know, this apron made me look 4 times bigger than I already was. And I'm already a big fat white guy. And now it made me look like I was 3 big fat white guys.
And it's funny you mentioned that because we were talking about that too with ours, is doing a Scotty Robinson cooking experience or something of that nature. And now it's like, huh.
No.
Well, if you can cook, it does help. You know?
Oh, this man can cook. That's not a problem.
Well, see, the whole idea was we were going to follow a brand new recipe that nobody had ever done, and we're not really cooks, so we were completely fucking it up as we went along. And there was even a camera over the stove straight down, so as we're mixing and stirring, and then you let it sit, and all of a sudden the comment section starts going, stir, 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 you're letting it fuck up. We're like, oh, shit. So, I don't know.
You see
I just
Gordon,
don't want to do it again. It made me look so terrible when we did it.
Oh, no.
Could you see Gordon Ramsay doing a mashup of the reel going, what the fuck is actually going on?
You donkey!
We did the other one we did was the same situation in the kitchen. We did pumpkin carving, but I came in with power tools.
There we go.
Right on.
There we go.
Well, see, we tried to come up with stuff too, but I've been vetoed more than once. I was thinking like, you know, the 4 of us would do the, you know, most dangerous prey. We'd hunt each other down for sport. But see, look at the reception I got.
Well, let me say, I don't think any of our suggestions broke the law.
Well, I'm talking about with
One of us
paintball
can't.
guns.
One of us can't hunt.
That you know of.
Bitch, if you killed something, we'd be the first people to know.
That's true. That's
You'd
true.
call us from the goddamn campsite. Look what I did!
Yeah, I have a lot of money in materials that don't get used very often.
Yeah, I was talking about paintball. I was talking about killing
Oh, you want
each
a
other.
paintball?
You
Oh,
didn't say that. You didn't
should
say
have probably
paintball. You
led
said
with
hunt
that.
somebody.
Shit, I mean,
in that case, I'm just gonna do a 5-gallon bucket with the 1 pound of black powder and push the button when you get near it. Game
Well,
over.
that's effective. Isn't that called like a grenade booby trap? That would be fair.
Al Qaeda paintball.
Yeah.
Paintball IED.
Yes, it'll work just fine, and it won't kill him.
Now, see, now you're on to something interesting here, man.
then Gorilla would be like putting out flyers going, go home, black man, this not your war.
Oh,
Well,
5
yeah, you gotta
o'clock,
be
Charlie.
Be careful how you market that. You don't want to put flyers up all over town and saying, have you ever wanted to shoot a black man? Can't really say it like that. You got to be careful how you market it.
See, I think you're onto something,
Or
Scott.
not.
And so when all those people show up, someone jumps out and goes, aha!
I don't know if they saw the flyers, but there's 14 pickup trucks with Confederate flag back windows. I don't know what's going on, man.
People start a caravan all the way from Georgia.
Yeah.
Trying to do paintball in their hoods. I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
Oh,
Mama, reach out and clean the window. We got to keep driving. Jesus Christ.
If this gets any worse, we're going to have to do a beaver break.
No. No, we're not even
well,
close
that
to
We're
escalated
not
quickly.
even close.
Yeah, we haven't even hit the mark yet.
That's just me being pragmatic.
But see, you're also the one that wanted to do that one in Vegas where you
Well, fuck
the
yeah.
the airsoft one where when you run out of bullets you go to hand combat
Hell yeah, why wouldn't you?
because you're the only black
you're the
belt
only
in this
dude
group.
that has a
Yeah, the
belt.
only guy that's taken any kind of martial arts, you fuck.
The
Will
rest
you
of us,
be on my fucking team?
the rest of us fat guys are just going to run around screaming.
Yeah,
My
we
dad's-
run out of ammo. We throw Scott at him. The rest of us are throwing beer bottles at him.
I was about
Fuck
to say,
you.
my dad's gonna run out of ammo. He's gonna be like, "Where's my beer bottle to break? Where the fuck?"
I'll cut a bitch.
Oh, dreams about the time I went to Mexico.
Oh,
I think we
You know
just
what?
found.
If this is what you guys talk about on air, I don't know what you guys could be going, what lengths you go to off air.
worse, way worse.
I've got a folder.
Larry and I have gotten into trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's to the point now, General, where if my wife and I are on our way to meet Scott and Sue for dinner, without fail, somewhere in the trip, she will remind me that I have to be on my best behavior because we are out in public. I'm like, what? She goes, you can't say half the shit you normally say while we're out in public. Because
Go ahead.
people don't know that you just can't do it. She'll get all flustered, and I'm like, okay, all right. And then I
We
go
did
ahead.
that at the Las Vegas meet and greet. There was a kid who was, I want to say he was 30 years old. And he was this Mexican kid, just as quiet as could be in the beginning. So, a couple staff went up and sat with him, was talking to him. He didn't want to meet me because he was nervous. He goes, no, I'll just sit over here. And, I just want to listen to the general. I just wanted to be here and see you guys. And he paid the ticket and came from Tijuana all the way to Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
He came across the border. He rented a car. I found out later the guy slept in his car because he couldn't afford a hotel room. But he came up here. He was the nicest kid. I did talk to him. And then, of course, after I'm talking to him and I get to know him for a minute, then we did that round, go the microphone around the room thing. And where's everybody from and what you doing? We gave away trophies. We gave away silly trophies. Who traveled the furthest distance? Who's the tallest person here? I gave one away to the biggest boobs. Who's got the biggest boobs here? And we gave away all these silly trophies. And I said something about, who traveled the farthest to get here. And somebody pointed towards, the kid from Tijuana. I said, no, his journey might have been the most difficult. He might have had to jump a fence and swim a river and all that. We do have an open border policy. He had the most difficult time getting here. We don't have a trophy for that. And half the room just went dead silent. I mean, just stood at me like I said, and I was about to say something. The kid, he's standing next to me. The kid starts laughing so hard he's belly laughing. Then the room took off. Then, they were like, it's okay. But it was one of those situations, like you said, my wife goes, I really have to double check what you're going to say. I go, I didn't know I was going to say it. We're telling jokes, man. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a bunch of those go on. Turned out to be a lot of fun. It was a little bit dicey for a moment because there was 3 contestants for the largest boobs, and I personally had to check to see which one was winning. Which you had to have a competent answer there. So I volunteered to be the one to inspect to make sure which one before we pass out the trophy. That got a little dicey, but turns out I'm still married. I'm not divorced, and all is well with the world.
You didn't outsource that? You could have still watched, but I would have outsourced that. No,
To who, you?
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
Lying son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're kind of right. No, I wouldn't
You want
have.
to take some things very seriously when you're a man in my position. You can't leave things a chance. What if it would have gone wrong?
I understand.
What if someone would have made a mistake? Now, better
No,
you just
you're
done
absolutely right.
Better just do it yourself.
You did good.
Remember, we outsourced that shit in 2008. Look what happened.
Hey, General, you got our
Yes, sir.
email address, right? You go
Yes,
ahead and
I do.
email the gorilla those contestants if you don't mind.
Actually, the kid videoed the whole thing, the whole night. He
God bless
videotaped the
him.
whole night.
There we go. There we go.
See, Scotty, if you'd have been there,
I know.
you'd have been part of
I
all
know.
this.
I really wanted to go, but I'm trying to like dig myself out of debt for being unemployed for freaking 9 months.
Well, that's the thing about it. It's a good old American way is just to go further in debt.
That's true.
If you're out of work, make yourself feel better and buy something.
Yeah, the first
He
weekend.
did.
Yeah, the first weekend I was unemployed. That Friday, my friends, we all went drinking, which included, of course, Larry and his wife, another couple who are friends of ours, and the jokes that flew. He got in trouble on the way home.
Oh, man.
You got into big trouble.
Dude, my wife chewed my ass because we were just hammering him, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I don't give a shit he lost a job after 29 years, you unemployed fuck. What are you going to do now? I brought you a soup can and some pencils, so you got a part-time gig. Dude, my wife was so fucking mad at me. I mean, top 10 maddest she's ever been at me, 31 years.
Oh my God, you said that? How could you?
She's kicking me under the table. Like, fuck, take it easy. That leg's sore. Can you move over a little bit?
I would have taken the time to at least mail him some of the local flyers for directions to the soup kitchens. Maybe that would have been helpful. I don't know.
You almost got me. You almost got me.
It was, and I mean, looking back on it in retrospect, it was some pretty fucked up shit.
But the thing
he
is,
took it
I
in
needed.
stride.
I needed it, man, because the last thing I wanted to do was be at home sitting there going, "Fuck, what am I gonna do now? I'm just gonna sit here and be sad. I'm gonna sit here with my wife and dog and just be sad.
Grow old and die.
Yeah. Imagine being homeless. Excuse me, sir. Can you help a fellow American who's down on his luck?
You wouldn't be homeless per se. Your home would just have 6 wheels on it.
Yeah, but that costs money too.
That's what the wife's for.
Whoa! Shit. For the only guy in the
That's what I tried to
one
tell
of the
you.
three
You
of
got
us
to
who ain't
train that
married.
woman.
Yeah, I said
That's
the
what I'm trying to
unmarried
get
guy.
across to you.
Yeah, and besides, Scott, how long do you think it'd take the bank to find the motor ghetto at my house? I mean, unless they're doing a drone flyover, they ain't going to see that fucker. You can't see the place from the road.
Well, that's damn nice of you to offer your property for me to hide out.
No. He didn't say you. He said the motor ghetto.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference.
Well, it was implied Scott was allowed, but
Oh, okay.
thanks for clarifying that, Greg. You fucking asshole. That'll be something I'll hear about Sunday when Sherry watches the program. We are not storing anyone else's shit on our property. I don't care who it is. Okay.
So
dear.
can I ask you, can I give you another invite that you'll turn me down on, Scotty?
Oh,
Yeah,
invite
throw it out
away.
there.
Now, this one is, I'm not saying that we're catering to you because we're not, but if I were to imply it that way or color it that way, we're doing Two Bear on staff has got a big, huge Route 66 car show and right on Route 66 in Fontana. And that's March 9th. And so we were thinking as a kind of we're trying to find celebrities from the 70s and 80s that people would remember.
Right.
And so we tried to get one of your people, so I thought maybe that would be attractive to you. Do you guys remember, do you remember the show, What's Happening with Rerun and all that?
I knew.
Okay.
I met Fred Berry when I was a kid.
Well, not Fred Berry, but the other guy who played Dwayne on there was Haywood Nelson. He was the kid with the big fro and all that. He looks like him and or JJ Walker from Good Times is going to be at the car show.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So if you would come down, then I could point you out and say, okay, anybody complaining about Cigar Scotty not showing up, he's here. Leave me alone.
Oh, shit.
That's a Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, I have one problem, though. I'm putting the old man on a plane to Cedar Rapids the next day.
Uber.
I could.
What does that have to do with anything?
Or actually, I could just have Tiny Wife do it, and I just drive out. That might be something that can be done.
Well, I'm just letting you know it's not inked. The date and time for the car show is, and we've got all the car clubs coming. In-N-Out Burger's going to put their big truck out there.
Oh man,
and we got a band that's going to play. And I'm trying to work out couple old celebrities from the 70s in Southern California that people might remember. And if we can do that, it'd be cool to have you stop by and just say hello.
Oh, that would be awesome. You know what? I have a plan. Because Tiny Wife's not going to want to go, so...
Custer had a plan too, Robinson.
Oh, shut up.
Custer was white though. We could do a leave in the middle of the night Friday night.
Yeah.
You know,
and then just roll out there.
Roll out, and do the walk around, and roll back.
Yeah, absolutely. That works for me.
All right, we might be able to.
Okay, Larry and I are going to work this plan. Because that
well,
would
just
be
letting you know,
fun.
That's an invite. You guys should definitely stop by. You can sit down and relax. There's places to sit out there, and there'll be shade. And if you don't want to walk the whole time and check out the cars, there's all sorts of other shit to do. There's going to be vendors out there. It's a lot of fun. This is the third time we've gone and done this, and it's a lot of fun to do it.
Can we smoke?
Right.
Yeah, I think so. It's outdoors.
We're gonna try it.
Okay.
It's not like getting locked up in Tijuana.
Well, it's not like there's smoking police. They're not going to put you in smoking jail. So no,
I don't know.
Ever been to Santa Barbara?
I've been through Santa Barbara.
One of our cohorts got a ticket for sitting outside in the parking lot of a hotel. $80 ticket for smoking a cigar.
I would have put my cigar out on the ticket.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. Because that's not the America I live in. Sorry.
Nope. Exactly.
Man. Amen.
I always say that movie Demolition Man, that was not a fictional story. That was a warning.
I could kind of go along with every restaurant being Taco Bell. I might be okay with that.
So could I. I don't think the plumbing
They'd have
system.
to put in a lot more bathrooms.
Not so happy with the virtual sex part, but the Taco Bell, I never did figure out how to operate the 3 seashells. But, whatever.
Wow.
You brought up the movie.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, now we got to pay the price. We
That's
get
right.
it.
He doesn't know about the 3
You
seashells.
don't want to go deep on something. Don't softball me a question.
Yeah, no shit. Gorilla's over there scribbling notes, man. Don't do that again.
He doesn't know about the 3
Taco
seashells.
Bell. Virtual sex. Okay, I got it.
Oh, wow.
That reminds me of our episode with Colonel Knight. Boy, did that one derail quickly.
Okay, you need to tell.
So-
You can't just
So, General, we recorded an episode. It was supposed to be a Veterans Day show. A friend of ours is a retired colonel, many, many years in the service, and then many years after that in
National Guard.
not USO, but doing media stuff with the National Guard and things like
media
that.
affairs.
So he comes on the show, and we start talking about his combat service and everything, and then somehow we get on sex robots, and that took over the entire fucking rest of the episode.
It didn't really
Very
take.
interested in that conversation, just for purely intellectual purposes.
What's unfortunate?
We'll send you the link to the show.
What's unfortunate is we were
Appreciate that.
able to move away from it multiple times, but for some reason, Colonel Knight was like, "So yeah, the sex robots, like enough." I believe. Hang on,
Yeah.
I believe the episode title is "Enough with the Sex Robots."
Yes, it is.
He had the sheep hook, man. It kept pulling them back in. It was terrible.
Well, you know what? When someone's passionate about something, you just
Yeah.
Terry, did you hear that, Terry?
Yeah, it was remarkable how passionate he was about that. Oh, so I got to ask, man, what give us the top 3 things to do in your hometown there?
I don't know. I don't leave my front door. I live in a scary neighborhood. I call for a police escort if I have to go to the store and back.
Damn.
It's tough. I don't know what goes on. I look out the window as far as I can see. I'll watch a little bit of news, but after that, now I don't know what goes on past my backyard.
Seems like a smart man.
Every night his son climbs up on the roof, mans the machine gun turret. Old man says, "You got first watch."
Yeah. It's a lot
Don't
like
fucking
that.
fall asleep.
Shoot anybody that comes inside the perimeter. God damn it.
Well, see if it ever gets to the movie that we just discussed. There's no guns. You just got those little stun batons. So that'll be what we walk around with, little stun batons and no weapons anymore.
Yes. Unless you go to the Museum of Violence, that'll be
That's
my
true.
first stop.
That's true.
Jesus Christ.
There's a trivia for you. What was the red car that they broke out of there and drove all over town? That red muscle car.
What the hell was that? I almost want to say it was a
Chevelle?
Chevy.
It was a
Well, if I
Chevelle.
tell you it was not a Chevelle, but it looked like a Chevelle, what would it be?
Pontiac, what the hell? Sebring?
No, a Sebring.
No.
Oldsmobile.
Oh,
There
oh,
you go.
442.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool stuff, man.
Buddy
So-
of mine had one of those where he was a senior in high school. I was a junior. And he picks me up one day from my dad's shop, and we're going down Coast Highway in North County, and we're sitting at a light. We're sitting at Tamarack Avenue in Carlsbad on the 101. We're the front car in the outside lane. And just past the Tamarack light, it narrows down to one lane going across by the power plant. And there's all these people on the sidewalk waiting to cross the street. We get the green light. My buddy Chris punches it. And he didn't bother to tell me that he hadn't bolted the passenger front seat down. So I'm upside down in the back on top of my buddy Kevin.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You know,
wow, it was rough.
do you guys remember those campers that kind of slid into the back of a pickup truck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
cab over.
I forget what they call them, but
Cab over.
anyway, cab over there. So I remember we were in, my buddy had, I don't think it was his uncle's truck or his old beat up truck, this old beat up camper in the back. And there was like 4 people in the truck and the rest of us were in this camper. He hadn't strapped the camper down to the truck.
Oh shit.
You're supposed to be, there's little shackles
turn-
you twist
turn
and they
right,
pull
right.
it down. He didn't do any of that. So he gets off the freeway and this long sweeping turn right through an intersection, and he turns hard and the whole thing slides out of the back and hits the ground, spins one time, and then rolls over, and just those campers just disintegrate. I mean, if you ever see one on the side of the road, they just fall apart.
yeah.
There's nothing holding them together but staples. And none of us got hurt. No, it was going fast enough just to break apart, and we all got up and stood there, and there's this camper mess all over the intersection. My buddy just kept driving. He knew he was in trouble. He didn't want to get stopped by the cops, so he just took off. So we walked away. But there we were. It's the first time I ever got thrown out of a camper and a moving vehicle with all of us in the back, and hopefully that'll be the last time, because that scared the
yeah.
shit out of
the
me.
first time. There's more?
Oh man.
Yeah. So
rough.
speaking of stuff not bolted down.
I lost a CO2 bottle for a keg out of the back of my truck, making the little quick turn. I was going to my girlfriend's house one Sunday morning. We'd had a party at my buddy's dad's house. Dad was out of town, so we had a couple of kegs over there, a bunch of people. And I'm dropping people off the next morning after, people are sleeping in the yard, sleeping in the hammock, whatever. And I got 3 people in the front of my truck and 4 or 5 in the back, when you could still do that, along with all the accoutrements from this party. And about a half a block from her house, there was an empty lot, and it was kind of uphill. There was a little dirt road shortcut through this. And I'm right there, and my buddy goes, take the shortcut. And I had a 1980 Dodge Power Wagon 4-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. So I whip the wheel to the right, take this shortcut, bounce this thing up, launch the CO2 bottle out. It comes down, snaps the valve off of it, shoots it through a cinder block retaining wall, and hits the back of this guy's house.
Wow. Ooh. Punched a hole right through the wall.
Yeah, right through the cinder block wall, and hits a raised foundation, old 1950s house, Vietnam vet. He thinks he's getting shelled, man. Dude. We stop, because we're kids and we're stupid. And we're 3 towns away. My old man's got to come out, and try to calm this guy down. So my World War II vet dad is talking to this Vietnam vet guy, 2 hours of them sharing war stories to see if, with a cop trying to see if I'm going to juvenile hall or if I'm going to get to drive home.
No kidding. Yeah, you talk about bottles. It made me think of something. Of course, you and I have to be filtered from our wives. We got to be mic checked from our wives on stuff. At this little shindig in Las Vegas, there was a couple of guys that came to see us. They had oxygen. They had a little bottle and they were on oxygen. And one of them got in the go-kart with his oxygen bottle, holding his oxygen bottle, and fucking took off.
That's the spirit.
That was the guy. So, but talking about people need to be put in check, one of the girls there had too much to drink, and I was standing there, and one of the guys with the oxygen tank was standing next to me, and she turned and said something to him, and clearly said a full sentence to him, but the music was going. I don't think he heard her, and he turned and walked away. She thought that he was being rude, so she's drunk, and he takes his oxygen tank and turns away. She looks at me. She goes, "That was rude. Yo, air compressor, get back here." Don't call this guy that. Don't call him air compressor. What are you doing?
That's good. That's good.
See, the great thing about my wife is she doesn't even bother trying to censor me anymore. She just looks at me and shakes her head.
Well, you would think Sherry would have given up on me by now, too. But, God bless her. She's still dragging me along.
We had one girl get up and stood on the booth where you would sit, and she's standing on the sitting part, and she starts doing a striptease act. And I told my wife, I go, "This isn't any big deal." I mean, she goes, "Yeah, well, it wouldn't be, except we're in a restaurant. This is Lucille's. This is a family restaurant." I said, "Oh yeah, there is that." So I'm telling you, Scotty, you missed a bunch of stuff, man.
I know I missed a bunch of stuff, and I truly regret it, because I'm just like, damn it, I wanted to go to Vegas, but I'm just like, oh, I can't go. It's like, oh, and I'm looking at Tiny Wife, and Tiny Wife's like, yeah, well. And then, of course, I've been putting like anywhere from 12 to 14 hours at work, so that doesn't help.
Well, you got to make up for the fact that you were unemployed for so long,
Exactly.
You got to prove your worth.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a lot of that.
So hey, let's get back to this car show thing, man. What do we think?
Yes.
7 hours to Fontana?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
That can be done.
We got to drive something we can smoke, though.
Well, yeah.
It's also a little quicker. You can avoid a lot of stuff depending on the day. If you go on the 210 as you drop down the 5, and I don't know how Scotty knows. I didn't know if you guys are familiar. You
Larry knows too. If you shift off of the 5 once you get over by the 14, I think it's just the 210. No, it's not
the 210. But anytime now, I'm telling you, I have not found a good time to take that 210 without it being bumper to bumper traffic, just because of the amount of people going both ways to work and back, and you get a little bit of a window. So what we do is we head down the 5, and right as you get to the top of the Grapevine, we take the 138 straight out over to the 15, and when you drop down the 15, the Cajon Pass, you're right there. You're right where you need to be. You're right. Dead ends almost right where the car show is.
Oh, nice.
And you
right on.
A ton that way. It took us one person left and went that way same time we did. They went the regular way. They went the 5 down past the 14, the 210 out through Pasadena. And it took them 3 hours to get there because the traffic took us an hour and a half. That's the difference in time. If no accidents, of course, stuff like that.
138, huh? Okay.
Well, it looks like we're splitting gas in your truck, because I can smoke a little bit in mine, but not a whole not like a 7-hour trip to Fontana.
No worries, man.
Yep, we'll split the gas and off we go.
We're also doing a deal. I'm trying to get.
Hold it. Wait. Did you all buy the tickets for that charity event yet?
Yeah, we already took care of that.
That's the same night.
Wait, well, what?
The 9th of March is the charity event.
Oh, shit.
So what you do the Fontana thing, you stop at one of those truck stops and get you some pet pills, and you just go to the charity event fucking 110%. No.
Where's the charity event?
Grass Valley.
It's for the
You'd never
Nevada,
make it back.
Nevada County Sheriff's Association.
That's
Nah,
right.
you wouldn't make it back in time.
Damn it! I wanted to go to that shit.
You got to pick.
This is why
Do we
need
go
a
to the
private-
general or do we go eat?
We need a private
eat
jet.
shrimps.
No.
There's no
See,
way- there's
hold
no-
on. This is the unmarried man talking. See how he put that? Either go see the general or eat steak and shrimp. No. That's not how this is framed. It's framed as Tiny Wife already has a plan that we're going on a date with our friends. So it's either go with Tiny Wife to this event or tell Tiny Wife, nope, I'm not going with you. I'm going to go off to Fontana with the general.
Well, the good news is she's already got something planned. She's going to be with friends. You're not leaving her home alone. You see?
I like the
Yeah,
way
hey,
the general thinks.
Hey,
Okay,
we're gonna
so-
we're gonna run that up the flagpole as your idea,
Yeah.
and see how it goes. Dude, my wife already doesn't like me, and so you know, well, I might as well drag you along for the
Me
ride.
too.
Hang on, let's discuss options. Is this the Nevada County Sheriff's Association with the really cool bitchin' raffle too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See,
Yeah, my
Damn.
wife won a gun last year.
Hey.
I don't know if I can talk her out of a gun.
Hey, I'm sorry, they're not going to be there.
well, yeah, because we went to the Sacramento Crime Stoppers event, the crab feed last year in March, and yeah, I extremely overpaid for a Glock 19.
Well, there's a chance. We did it last year, and Mary wants to do it this year again. She wants to do a Reno meet and greet. We did the first one we did was last year,
90 minutes away for us.
and their VIP area was exquisite.
Where'd you do it?
was
GSR.
Yeah, GSR. That's right.
that
Yeah.
place is,
And
that
their
place is
private
hopping.
area was so nice compared to the one in Vegas. And we just kind of threw it together last minute. We still had 50 people show up that just want to sit around and drink and have food and hang out. And there was a pool table in there and chandeliers. It was a good time, but
Oh, yeah.
she wants to do it again. I think we'd have a bigger turnout this year.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. We'll
We'd be all
Yeah,
over
we
that.
promote the shit out of it for you too.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
But you can only fit, I think you can only fit like 80 people in there. I mean, we can't, once it's full, it's full. But I think we could do it. I think we could sell tickets and get 80 people to show up. And there was some staff that didn't make it last year that would swear they'd go. So I'd probably say 20 people no matter what that would show up that I know for sure would. And then we'd have to just see if we can sell out the rest of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure that wouldn't be a
no
problem.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Yeah, we'd be all over
We
that.
could browbeat enough people to go to fill the tickets if you didn't sell out.
Oh,
Well, let me see if she wants to do that. I think she does. She put it on the Gen X Talks website as Reno late spring, but she didn't say when. Last year we went on April 1st, and a lot of people thought it was a joke, and they didn't go. And then they saw the pictures and they're like, "Oh shit, I thought you guys were fucking with us." I'm like, "No, dude, we were there." That's what we get for doing it on April 1st, so that's partially our fault.
yeah, because I could break out the RV and just ride over to Reno and stay in the RV lot. Although it's pretty much the same for a room versus RV, but still.
Well, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of
Yeah.
good people that showed up, and they just, there's little things you can do during that time, but the main thing is they just want to talk and they want to sit with all of us and just have the conversations, letting us know we're not alone. Hey, I think like you do. I
Yep.
got an idiot son like you do. I got common sense like you do. It's the same message. They like feeling that way, that they're not all by themselves out there. They like that camaraderie when they get in a room with 50 or 60 people and they all think the same way. They dig that because then they don't feel like it's just them.
No, I like that, man.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? If it was bigger, and even so, you know who would have a ball too? Walsh.
Yeah.
Oh, if Pat Walsh promotes that, oh, yeah, you need more than 80. They would be all
Well,
We'll
over.
drag
Walsh.
Pat with us.
Yeah.
Pat Walsh is a local radio guy here. He's been on our show 2-3 times. Scotty's done some stuff with him. He's KFBK.
Yep.
7 to 10.
7 to 10, Monday through Friday, AM 1530, 93.1 FM.
15:30
Well, does he
a.m.
know who we are? He may not approve of us. I don't,
No, no.
Oh, no. Oh, yes, he would.
Yeah, he dialed in. he used to be the sports guy up here for years and years and years. Diehard Rams and Dodgers fan.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good people.
Well, Scotty, why don't you reach out to him? If we can do that, maybe we can open up that venue to a bigger, there's bigger venues there inside of GSR even, but let me know if you really want to do that. I'll put something together on our end. If he gets on board, maybe we could all go up there. We could put all of our names up on the banner. You could do the Beyond the Humidor Gen X Talks, and he could do just his name if he didn't want to involve his radio station in it.
Well, actually, he's got a podcast called Pat's Peeps.
So
well, then if you want to reach out to him, and I mean, you got to kind of do it fairly soon.
Oh,
you talk to him and get stuff going, then maybe we can all be on one of your podcasts, or we can be on one of your live streams, or we can, you guys can all jump on one of ours and we'll just shoot the shit. But if it all clicks and it works good, maybe we could all go together.
Oh, hell yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Great idea.
Because we can talk to Pat tomorrow, because he'll probably swing by the shop before the show.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll make it happen.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Well, then by tomorrow, what I'll do tomorrow is I'll find out what the venue sizes are.
Okay.
And what we can get, how much money it's going to be, and we'll put those pieces together on our end. So if you say, yes, we can get him to promote it, and I can say, well, can we fill up this many people of this many room, and you guys say yes, then we'll put it in motion. You know what I mean? We'll reserve the rooms and get stuff going.
Okay.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
I like it.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd have so much fun with Pat. If you're a sports guy, or if you're into music, oh man, you could just rattle off a year in 60s, 70s. He will just rattle off shit. He's got to
make sure that he is okay with us. I mean, he probably doesn't know who Gen X Talks even is. So at least
we'll dial him in, man. We won't sandbag you here.
No, not at all.
No, I just don't want him to go, fuck those guys.
Nah, not at all.
No, we'll vet you.
Yes.
We'll vouch for you.
I don't know about that.
Oh man, this has been a good time. I am so happy we got you back on to the show with video this time.
Yeah, full video.
Yes, full videos. So
we were thinking about stopping it just for a second for old time's sake.
I did. Scott for a minute looked like Greg's gonna get homicided on the program.
You guys spared no expense. You turned on the cameras early.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh man. But like I said, hey man, it's great having you on, brother. And we still got to arrange a time where we can caravan over to Bakersfield and hang out for a weekend.
Yeah, we got to make time for that.
Yes.
We got to get all three of us, you three, and me, we got to get all four of us in the studio here where we can talk together.
Easily done.
Yeah.
Well,
not necessarily easily done, man. It's hard to sell my wife on Bakersfield. I mean, I'm sorry. That's not a destination.
No, it's not. It's everybody's got a Bakersfield story on their way through.
Yeah.
Nobody's saving up their money to move to Bakersfield when they get older. Yeah. I got to tell you, I've never heard that story one time. Never run into one guy who says, I just got to work for 3 more years and I'm going to have myself enough money to move to Bakersfield. As soon as I can retire, no one has told me that. Well, this is always on your way through. Somebody got a flat tire in Bakersfield. They broke down. Their sister lives there. Those are the stories you hear from Bakersfield.
Well, I have one for you. This is a first for you. I will share. So my stepdad's mom, she's lived in Bakersfield many a years. She taught at Bakersfield High. And when she got ill, my mom and stepdad, they were living in Oxnard, and they wanted to move out, go out there, and they were taking care of her. Then they started looking at houses over in Southwest, and it was like, oh, look at what we can afford. And this is in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And they've been in Bakersfield ever since.
Well, that's truthfully, that's why we moved here. My grandmother was old and dying on the coast in Cambria. My father was up in Kernville, Lake Isabella area. So, about an hour north of here.
Right.
My wife's father was having problems in Sun Valley, right in the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
So it was in 2004. So I think we moved here and, we started making trips, taking care of everybody. they all lasted about 6 or 7 years. They passed away. They just were old. And then by then we'd been here. Bakersfield's nothing super special, but it's got neighborhoods and malls and schools, just like most towns do. And the kids had been here 6 or 7 years, somewhere in high school, but they'd all made friends and they were all doing stuff and on sports teams. So we weren't going to pull them out of school. And like you say, the time we moved here, prices were still pretty cheap.
Oh yeah.
We got in at the right time. So we just stayed here. Now we got one more, the Gen Z kid. And when he moves, maybe we'd stay, maybe we wouldn't. We like our little piece of property.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We didn't set to live here. We did it for family to help take care of them. And then, like I said, you don't want to uproot your kids. We had 8 children. So we didn't want to pull all of them away from everything. So we stayed, and we've got good friends here. It's not like I said, it's not a retirement community. I'm not, if I was granted a bunch of money and said, go live where you want, I'm sure I would pick somewhere abroad.
Well, yeah, there is that.
So that's the good thing about, Scotty, you've seen the studio.
Oh yeah.
It's portable. It's on a metal foundation. I can simply unplug the power from the side. I can unplug the cable for the internet, set it on a trailer, and I can take it, set it right back down, plug it in, and I'm back in business. It just sets right up again. It's all one piece. So
oh man,
this
that
can go
is
with
awesome.
me.
That's great. My studio at Good Dog is a closet, but it's a comfy closet.
Well, I've seen super nice studios. I just can't afford them. But this one we pieced together from, it's a tough shed. We bought a big tough shed and then we insulated it and we soundproofed it. We did a bunch of little stuff and that's all it is. But you know what? For what we're doing, it just fits us perfectly. It turned out to be a blessing. We got away with the size and the shape and what it holds just right. Like Scotty will tell you, we could all fit around this table that we built here. We could all fit here perfectly and comfortably.
Yeah,
and
dude,
be all
it is
talking
awesome.
to each other.
It is awesome. I was so impressed with that studio. That was amazing. Love the decor. Love the setup. Real comfortable. Great
and
place
we got
to be.
Cameras on everybody's got an individual camera, so you're not stuck with like an overhead shot or something, or like those guys up there in Sacramento Beyond the Humidor, that one big wide shot they always do. Yeah, you got to get away from that. So we actually put some thought into our studio, into our stuff, so that it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you can have a single camera when you got one fat guy. When you got 3 fat guys, you got to do the wide camera.
I'm big, not fat. And I'm sticking by that.
Okay.
Big boned, yeah.
Yeah.
I say that when I walk into like DXL, when I go into that store to buy something, literally I take 2 steps in and I say loudly, customers and employees, I say, listen, this is a big and tall store. Let's be clear. I'm here because I'm tall. And I set the tone right off the bat. I won't be talking about how big I am. Of course, my wife hates that, but whatever.
It's like, you can't judge me. I'm small fat.
I like that. Small fat. Wow. Well, I have to tell you, General, I was talking to my boss today about this interview. And because he's a year older than I am. And he goes, well, aren't we Gen X? I said, no. He goes, what do you mean, no? I'm like, I have been told by a superior authority that is Gen X, you and I are millennials. He goes, given the state of political, can I self-identify as a Gen X? I said, absolutely you can, because that's what I do.
We don't tolerate that.
Xers, though.
You can not tolerate it all you want. I tolerate you, so be kind.
Yeah, Gen X not known for being super kind. I got to be honest.
Yeah, no shit. We didn't drive around with mean people suck bumper stickers.
I've never driven around with one of those.
Think about, you got a guy sitting just 6 feet from you that his wife has to mic check him everywhere they go. I'm going to say being nice isn't the strong suit.
No, man. It's, we drank from the garden hose.
Yep.
We rode a bike without a helmet.
Yep.
We rode in the back of a pickup truck. You were more worried about getting your ass beat with a belt from your old man than you were anything else. That was a good old days.
That's
man.
what I always laugh about when you hear, like, I did all that, and our way of knowing for my 2 brothers and I, when it was time to go home, if the street light came on and you weren't home, you were late.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That's right.
yep. That was a tough one.
yeah. You
That
eat
was a
what
tough
was on
one.
the table.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, there was no, I really don't want to. Can I get something else? And maybe tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
yeah, you could try again tomorrow at dinner.
You got sent to your room without dinner, and if you came out hungry, guess what? Your dinner was still sitting right there on the table and said, "Sit down and eat it." It didn't matter if it was cold and been there 3 hours. That was dinner.
Yep.
Yeah, and the worst mistake you could make would be walking that plate towards the microwave.
What microwave?
Dude, I remember the first I bought my mom the first microwave she ever had. It was a under cabinet mount that the house we had did not have, was not designed for a microwave. So I got this thing. I took it to a cabinet shop friend of mine and had him make a wooden cabinet. The fucking microwave is bigger than that TV over there that we're looking at the General on. And it took two of us, me and my buddy Brian, had to carry it in from my truck. And it took up like a third of the counter where we put it. But my mom was happy to have it, man. Microwave.
My dad bought a microwave. I think it was 1982 or something when they were first coming out. My dad would buy the new gadget. This thing probably weighed 200 pounds, and it didn't seal right. You know, it had a big dial knob on it for the timer. It never sealed right from the day it got here, and we were all, ooh, microwaves, and what did those do? I'm telling you what, man, when you walked by that thing and it was on, the fillings in your teeth started to hurt. You know, it was powerful and it leaked. That's all I remember as a kid.
Back when fillings were still amalgam.
And then same with this VCR. He bought the first VCR that ever came out, had all the bells and whistles on it. The thing fucking weighed 185 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, General, did he ever buy a Betamax?
He did not buy the Betamax. He did the VCR. My dad didn't, if I remember right, he didn't make too many missteps on electronics and washers and dryers. He did a pretty good job. I don't know if it was luck or if he did his homework on it, but anytime a new gadget came out, you know, you get a washing machine, this one agitates. And then there we had the new washer. He worked real hard. He was an electrical contractor. So anytime he had a few spare bucks, it was always something electronic for the house as a family.
Yeah. My favorite was always when I worked for Circuit City back in the day, people would come in and they'd go, I need a needle for a record. Do you have that? I'm like, a record. You mean that little silver thing that you feed into the machine? They're like, no, a record. I'm like, yeah, I'm just screwing with you. I know what a 45 and a 78 are. We were one of the few stores that you could still get up until we closed the needles for records, record players.
Record player. You don't need a needle for a record. You need a needle for a record player.
Yeah.
There's that
Fucking
millennial
millennials.
coming out.
Yep.
Yeah. At least I know what the damn thing is and how to make it work.
Hey,
You
you
fucked the story up.
pedantic asshole, do you want the needle or not? Would be my response.
Well, I don't know. Not if it's for a record. If you got one for a record player, I might be your guy. But who knows
All
what
right.
the fuck you guys are talking about?
Buy a Dr. Pepper and get the hell out. I don't know.
You know what? Can I see a manager, please? You know, someone who's been out of high school for longer than 5 minutes.
Wow.
There's truth to that statement, even now.
How old is your kid?
He just turned 18 in October,
Okay. Jesus.
and he is the definition of a slacker. He's the type of kid who takes the kitchen trash out and puts it in the trash can, and if there's a couple pieces of trash that someone else dropped, he just looks at it and goes, "Not my job," and walks back in the house. He's that guy.
Does he put a bag back in the can?
He's better about that part, but he doesn't do anything extra at all. Nothing. And I mean, if you don't spell it out for him, and if you give him a list of 10 things to do and he fucks up and misses one, he goes, "Oh, I didn't see it." I said, "How could you not see it? You read all the other ones." "I missed that one. Not my fault. I didn't see it. If I'd have seen it, I'd have clearly done the chore, but I didn't see it." How do you fucking argue with that? You want to bitch slap him and go, "Well, it's your fucking problem. Now you're going to get your ass kicked. I bet you pay attention next time, don't you?"
That's what my father would do. What do you mean you missed it? Whack! I'll go do it right now.
You see that?
And I'll tell you what, I hit him where it hurts with his video games with his friends. He, at his end of the studio, he's got his monitors all set up with his lights, his microphone, and his big comfy chair. And he'll play video games if he doesn't have any other obligations way into the night. And I kept telling him to turn off the lights in the studio when he's done. Just close it down. So one time he didn't. I didn't make a big deal about it. And I locked the studio. He couldn't get in there. And I said, you're not playing video games with your friends in the studio. He goes, well, what did I do? I said, you left the stuff on. And I showed him because we have a security camera in here. I played it back. I go, you walked out and left it there. It's been that way all night. That was 2 weeks ago. I have not let him back in the studio to play games. And he is absolutely beside himself. He goes, when am I going to come back in? I go, you're 18, dude. When you fuck up now, I'd take things away until you don't live here anymore. So that's gone forever. You're fucking done. At 18 years old, if you can't remember to turn off the fucking lights, you're an idiot. So you're done. You've lost that privilege forever. If you're borrowing my car and you don't treat it correctly, you're done forever. That was it. I've trained you for 18 years. If you don't have it down by now to be responsible, to keep your head on straight, you're going to have a real hard time out in the world. But now he's been losing things around him permanently over the same mistakes he's been making for 18 years. And I said, I told you when you're on your 18th birthday, training was over. Now we'll find out how long you can exist in my world. And as he's really tightened up his game as things have been removed from him. He's really starting to pay attention. But I said, I'm done. And I don't even get mad. I just go, sorry, that's over with. You're never coming back in the studio for games. You're done. We're through.
Well, see, that was my pop's theory, man. He had that, oh, you want to put a pin in a light socket? Try that out. Pow! Hurts like a son of a bitch, doesn't it? Don't do that again. There was I don't even remember I don't remember. I don't think it was Bill Cosby. It might have been Richard Pryor talking about, when I was a kid, we had a 57-pound TV on a TV tray. My old man's like, hey, let him pull it over his head a couple times. He'll figure it out.
That's right. But like today, it just amazes me that he won't take time. Like the construction guys will tell you, measure twice and cut once. Pay attention to what you're doing. All right. So I'm looking over here at a wall right behind where Scotty was sitting. We hung up 2 pictures. We got an article written about us in the newspaper. So my wife bought a newspaper and she framed it. It's now in the studio. And there's 2 of these things side by side. And I said, you can go ahead and hang those up over there, but make sure they're even. Make sure they're level. Put them these 2 tall frames, put them there. So he just drills a hole in the wall with a screw and hangs the first one. He drills a hole in the wall, hangs the second one, but it's too low. So he takes it out, drills the hole higher. Now it's too high, pulls it out, drills the hole in the middle. That's close enough. I can look and they're still not right, but he drilled 3 holes just guessing until he got it. You pull up that picture right now, there's 3 fucking holes in my wall because he couldn't take a level and just draw a line so they'd at least both be on the same level. He wouldn't do it. Too much work. And this is still what he does. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You know how to do these things, right? But he's lazy. He just wings it. So he's on the fast track of getting himself excommunicated. So just to be fair, and I don't know whether there's no way he's ever going to learn from me, but when employers start dogging him on this shit, or he's not handling his apartment or his rent correctly or something out in the world, then he'll come back like all my other kids do and say, holy shit, Dad, you were right. As we all did, as everyone does. But I told him, I said, I thought you would be the one kid that would actually learn this stuff here. And you're just like every other kid. I'm going to have to cut you loose to get you to figure this shit out because you're not getting it. And that's him. I love him to death. He's one of our best kids. He's a great kid. He's just got that one thing that he's not going to figure out until he has to, in my opinion.
That's how it usually happens, though.
Yeah,
trial by fire.
Well, we'll see. But, I love the kid, but I just have to very calmly strip stuff away until finally I say, okay, dude, it's just too much of a hassle. You just need to go figure things out, go get a job, go do your stuff, and go on now. There's no other way to do it. Well, we did tell him that. We told him he couldn't live here if he didn't have a job. He's carrying 12 units in college, and I said, you need to go get a job. So he came back. He goes, I told him, I kicked him out of the house. I said, looking for a job is a full-time job. I said, you get out of the house and don't come back until you have a job. First day, he called me at 3:00 and says, hey, I've been gone all day. Can I come home? I said, do you got a job? He goes, no, but it's 3:00. I said, all right, come home. Gave him a chore list to do. I said, you came home. You could have stayed out there looking for work. Next day, he left at 8:00 in the morning. 3:00 calls me. I said, you can come home. He goes, do I have chores to do? I said, yep. Comes home, does the chores. Third day, he got a job, and he was so thrilled. Came home almost arrogant. He gonna tell me I got a job, so don't give me your shit no more, Dad. I got the best job in the world. I can be my own boss. I can make as much money. The sky's the limit. If I work hard enough, I can make $135,000 a year. That's what the guy said.
Oh no!
I said, far out, man. What are you doing? He goes, I'm doing some sort of telemarketing sales, I think.
Oh.
I said, all right, my man. You said, you knock yourself out with that. I said, and part of it is going door to door, like solar sales. I said, you're going to be the best vacuum salesman I've ever seen. You go right ahead. Knock yourself out, baby. So he goes for training next week. And I can't wait for him to put in about a month and have him come back and go, holy shit, can I quit? No, you cannot quit. Not if you want to live here. So he's learning. He'll learn. He's going to learn a lot of stuff real quick right now. 18 has come and gone. Rules have changed now for him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know, I'm just noticing something on our StreamYard feed here.
The video's off?
No.
I'm not gonna live this shit down.
No,
ever.
probably not. So, well, the best thing is we'll get our balls busted by his fans for something else, but not the video this time. But you know, we found a picture the other day, General, and I want to share this with you. I found a picture of Scott and Larry as children. So let me.
I found that.
Okay,
picture.
Larry found it, and I'm the genius that figured out to use it this way. So here's the picture, General.
Ask me who's who in the picture?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Figure it out.
I'm gonna say, boy, that's a tough one. They're like twins.
Yeah, we're like a photo negative of each other.
Youth.
Yes.
That's funny. That's a great picture.
That's the epitome of my brother from another mother.
That's right.
And there's Scotty. He got to look like, what you doing taking my picture? What you looking at?
No. More aptly, it's like, fuck you looking at.
And then Larry's looking off like, oh, look at her over there. She's bending over in that skirt.
I bet that's the one that won the General's boobs thing. That one right there.
Woo!
I'm going to get a talking to about that.
Yes, you are.
But you know what you won't get a talking to? You didn't ask me what size won.
Yeah, dude. I'm
waiting for the picture.
I was born at night. It wasn't last night.
Triple I.
Excuse me?
Oh, my.
Triple I. I thought, U44, double D, then E. Hers were I's. I said, that's not a real measurement. And I was told it was. That was a real thing.
I was mistaken.
Okay.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Dare to
The
dream.
things you learn while you're drinking in Vegas.
There you
Yep.
go.
Woo.
Now, was she a local or did she travel for this?
Well, funny story about that. My wife and I have known her since high school, and she lives down south of us a little further. And she's been out to the house before off and on over the years, and she really got into Gen X talk. So she made the trip to Vegas. So she drove in from there. But I proudly, in my drunken stupor with the microphone, giving out this award, I was able to proudly say I have seen them in real life, unclothed and worry free. So I was able to vouch for that.
Speaking of boob stories,
Uh-oh.
we have to tell the boob story, but the names have been changed to protect the innocent. One night, I don't think I was there for this, but I heard the story and I know it to be true.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes.
Young lady, she was in the cigar shop. She used to come in with her boyfriend, and she was discussing her pierced nipples. And a certain party, and I won't say whom, said, why are you talking about them? Show them. There was one other person in the shop. She, without missing a beat, says, okay, grabs her shirt, and it's really genius how women do this. They grab the shirt and the bra at the same time and whoop, and showed them. The other person who's seen boobs before said, oh, okay. The other guy was like,
That was 10 years ago, and I don't think he's right yet.
he looked at the party who asked and said, thank you.
I like how chicks, when they just want to show them to you in public, they can pull up the shirt and the bra, and then they squeeze their elbows in like this so nobody else can see but you. Because people will start leaning around the corner, to try to get a peek. Yes. They're very good at that. They're very talented at that.
Indeed.
The only thing that rivals that is when they can take off their bra while their shirt is still on. I think that's one of the sexiest things a chick can do.
Amen. I've seen that more than once.
Yeah, pull that thing right out through the sleeve, and you're like, oh my God, how do you guys do that?
Yeah.
But yet can't get the lid off that pickle jar.
I could care less about the pickles. I just sit there when they do that and be like, and the rocket's red glare.
There we go. America, what a country.
I love you, tiny wife.
That's when you die and you get to heaven. The first thing you got to do is when you get up in front of God and go, hey, before we start, boobs, thank you. Well done, sir. Well done indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God for that.
I'm just like, genius.
Yeah.
Bold of you to think we're going to be before God, sir.
Yeah, I've already got my apartment picked out in hell. It's actually next door to Scott's.
Mine is a villa, bitch.
Well, mine's an apartment because that's what I can
villa
afford.
again now that you're working.
You got me.
Cocksucker, it was a tent for a minute.
Didn't know Coleman had a division down in L, did you?
Look at the prices you're paying for a Coleman. That's what the sumbitches should be.
Oh, that's just so bad.
There goes our Coleman sponsorship.
Yeah, there we go.
And just when the gorilla
So
was
we're
looking
not
for
going
you
to see
camping
you
gear.
at the car show.
What's that?
We're not going to see you at the car show, but you might be on board for a Reno.
Oh, we're
absolutely.
We're on
Reno.
board for Reno, my friend. Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's
See,
happening.
And this is how you can tell we're on board for Reno, because we don't plan anything out longer than about a month and a half. So if you're past March on the Reno thing, we haven't even looked that far into the calendar yet.
Oh, yeah. Our social directors are very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I like how on board it was because I don't think you guys think that your wives can plan anything that far ahead. So you're already committing to it because they probably haven't got you committed to something that far out.
No,
Bold of you to
100%.
think that's true, sir.
Well, understand when I come through the door, I come through the door at home and I just say, woman! Woman, come here, woman!
Yeah, that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, I can picture that in my head.
Then there's a tiny wife handprint in the side of his head, and he wakes up going, "Did I do something wrong?"
She can't reach.
No, but she laughs at you, which
That
is
was-
hilarious.
yeah. She just chuckles, pats him on the back, says, "Go sit down."
Yeah, go sit down, honey. Go play with the dog.
Well, we'll work something out. Like I said, if you guys approach that guy tomorrow or the next day, I will do the homework on my end. And if the pieces look like they're going to come together, I think the next thing, and maybe you should ask him about this
Yeah.
when you talk to him, and say, can we all get together on some sort of like this, like on a podcast or something, we can all
Oh, yeah,
blend
no
together.
problem, man.
Because if we did something like that, that would also be a selling point. Say, everyone go check this out. You guys could have it on your channel. He could have it on his website. I could put it on ours. Let everybody kind of see we're all together.
Hell
And
yeah.
then they can go, say we're all going to be there in Reno.
Yeah.
Yep.
Floor it to the gorilla.
When's Pat's trip back to Italy?
It's going to be in April. That's between, what was it? Oh, damn, I'd have to look.
Because
Yeah.
I just realized if it's late spring, that might be. that
But
might
I
be
think
a
he's
conflict.
back by the 20th of April.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
We'll get the dates on his out of town stuff, and we'll have something for you by the weekend.
Yes.
And just make sure he's on board with us, that he doesn't think we're
Yeah,
a bunch
no
of
worries, man.
assholes.
No
He
worries.
hangs out with us. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, he talks to us, so you're halfway home as it is.
Yeah, I'm halfway. Yeah, I am halfway home there. I just got to not fuck things over too bad, and I should be okay.
Well, the only caveat I'll say is both Scott and Greg have been on his radio program multiple times. I, sir, have not. Once. Never been even allowed in the lobby of the building.
Oh, you've been allowed. You've been
So
invited.
this guy Pat is a discerning man, I see.
Well,
He doesn't like FCC lawsuits.
yeah. We're driving home one day, and I was telling my wife about Scott, doing some stuff with Pat on the radio show, and she just looks over at me. We're like 200 yards from our driveway. She looks over at me. She goes, "You understand that Pat can never have you on his program, right?" I'm like, "What the fuck's that supposed to mean?" She goes, "Pat cannot take the FCC violation, the walking FCC violation that you are." I'm like,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Hence, this is why you should be pushing to be on our radio station.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
There's no limits there.
Oh, 100%. That it might be a one and out. Your wife might pull the plug and go, "Fuck this guy."
Probably not. She's
Keep this
pretty okay
crazy
with
son
it.
of a bitch out of here. But we'll give it a try. I mean, we'll run it up the flagpole, see who
If you-
salutes.
If you did horribly on there, my wife would have the attitude, well, at least he makes you look good.
Oh, that's it. I'm going on and telling the locked up in Mexico story.
Oh, when she looks at you and says, "No tacos for you," you know you fucked up.
Yeah. If my wife doesn't offer you food here, you done something wrong. That's true.
All right.
True
Good to know.
story.
Good to know. I'm glad to see there's a divining rod there.
I'm here to
Well, I
help.
don't- Yeah, she'll tell me too afterwards. I'll say, "What was that all about?" Then I'll find out. But up until then, I won't know. My job's to shut up and be quiet while she renders judgment.
The jury's still out, huh? All right. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Listen, I got something else I got to go grab and do. You guys, we about done here.
Yeah, we
Can you-
can cut it anytime you want, man.
Hey, as a matter of fact, before you do go,
yeah.
hey, promote your shows. Talk to us. Let our listeners know where you are, what time the shows are, because I'm telling you, they'll get a kick out of your show. Hey, I converted
you
my
guys-
wife.
Just send them to genxtalks.com because that webpage has literally a picture for everything. One says podcast and got a funny picture. You click it, you're there. It has the live stream schedule. You click it, it takes you right where to go. Everything that we do is picture oriented, so you can see it, click it, and go. You don't got to spend a lot of time reading it. It's a picture and a story, and anything you're looking for is there. Plus, if you really explore the website, we have added little pages here and there about the studio going up, all these corny pictures about how it was all laying in pieces in the yard and the dog was pissing on everything. We've literally chronologically put that all together in pictures. The same with the Vegas trip. We're going to have a bunch of Vegas pictures up there pretty soon from getting back from there. Everything we do, the upcoming car show has all these pictures of what the last year's shows were like, all the people that are going to be there this year. And again, you click on them, you can go right to their stuff. So it's a real interact. We get 60 to 70,000 people hits on our website every month, and I don't know why, because it's you only have to walk through everything one time and you've seen it, but it just happens every month. We get high numbers because everything's on there.
Yeah.
Anything
Right
you're looking
on.
for
Right
is
on. That's
on there to
cool.
link to.
So I'll just say to our people, check out genxtalks.com. You will not regret it. It's a good time.
A lot of fun on that, Scotty. And thank you guys for having me back on.
Hey, man, big thank you for being aboard. Hey, we always love the time with you.
Hey, that check you wrote me for $50 to come on, that's not going to bounce, is it? We're good, right?
Hold it till tomorrow.
All right, you guys, I got to get out of here, but we'll set something up soon.
Yes.
We'll keep in touch. And, if I did better this time, maybe it won't take a year for me to be back on.
Oh, shots fired.
Damn you, daddy. Hey, I think I just found my new catchphrase.
Really? The hell you say?
All right, you guys, I got to get out. Thanks again for having me on.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, General. Take care. Man, it is always fun to talk to the General. I'm telling
Absolutely.
you, when I did that interview with him a few months ago, back in November, man, it was the same thing, just a good time. And you can check that out on YouTube on Gen X Talks, and definitely go on to genxtalks.com. They've got some great material.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love talking to that guy.
Yep.
Most definitely. Now, before we go out, I have to give an explanation because I don't have a scotch glass today. I have this lovely beer stein, and I don't know if I've told the story about the beer stein, but I'm gonna. So, right before my wife and I got married, her mom was being put into a home because she had this house in Pennsylvania. My wife grew up in. And the first time I went over there, I'm looking at the stairs to the basement, and I'm like, there's these little narrow stairs. The house was built for little people. I tried to take a shower in the bathroom, and it was like half a refrigerator box with a freaking nozzle and, with a freaking shower head. And I'm like, doing
kind of like your Class C.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But half that.
Wow.
So anyway, some years went, and my poor, future mother-in-law is starting to fall down and, have little incidents, broke her hip. So we made the decision, or my wife made the decision, because she did not have my last name yet. And she broke it to her mom and said, I think you need to go to a retirement community. Ruth, God rest her soul, her response was something I was not expecting. She said, let me get this straight. I go somewhere and they do everything for me. Sign me up. So we started, working on, or I shouldn't say we, because like I said, I had nothing to do with this. They start getting the house up for sale. They had a company come in to clean the house out, take the stuff of value that, she didn't want. And her father, who had passed away years earlier, he went to Germany and he had probably a dozen German handcrafted beer steins. Now I'm thinking to myself, those are amazing. I'd love those. But of course, the future son-in-law, and because I'm a decent human being, I didn't want to go picking through the house like a vulture, sitting there like one of those classic old-timey, what are those 1920s villains with the wispy mustache going, So I just kept my mouth shut. I'm figuring, I'll have time to, ask about those at a later date. So I did at a later date and said, hey, whatever happened to your dad's beer steins? I kind of like them. She's like, honey, yeah, they took those and sold those. And I was so heartbroken. And I reminded my wife every single time for years. I think for about maybe, let's do the math. Probably about 5 or 6 years. So finally she got tired of hearing it. And for Christmas, the Christmas before this one, she buys me an authentic German made from German clay beer stein. Basically telling me, I love you, honey, but shut the fuck up.
German clay made by real Taiwanese.
No. Authentic German, handcrafted, with the place of our friend Roger's birth, Heidelberg.
God bless you.
Yes. It is beautiful. So, yeah.
Glad we got that on tape. Look at the gorilla. Gorilla's just like, what the fuck?
That is what we call karma.
Yeah. Surprised it took this long, huh, Gorilla? Gorilla's like, can we get the fuck out of here?
So anyway, that's my story. And anybody have anything to add before I... Nothing?
I think we're good, man.
No, go right ahead.
Think we good? You good, Gorilla? All right then, Gorilla. Take me home. Well, I had lit another cigar, so that's not down to the nub yet, but the stein is empty, so I think it's about that time. I want to thank the General from Gen X Talks. Be sure to check out genxtalks.com. I want to thank my co-host in the Gorilla enclosure, as always. Again, Gorilla merch.
Hey, I want to throw in something real quick. This is the first podcast in 109 podcasts that we haven't discussed what we're smoking.
That's true.
So come back around next time and we'll talk cigars.
So, hey, thank you for listening. Check us out at LumaCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook, of course. Follow us on Instagram.
We're not shadow banned anymore.
Yeah, I know. I checked. They said we're good. So you can check us out on Instagram. You can check out some of the new reels that we've been doing. So by all means, like and share those. Like and share us on Facebook. Don't be a stranger. Something you like, hell, something you hate. Drop us a line and let us know you're out there. I'm Scott Robinson, and on behalf of all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on the next episode, and my favorite mother-loving part is coming up. So until next time, stay healthy and safe, and good smoke, good drink, and good life. Prost.